Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I thought today's video would be on a practice that I try to do frequently, and it's basically how I calm my nerves and how I ground myself. So obviously if you've been on YouTube or read any kind of books, there are several techniques on how to ground yourself. Some techniques work differently and better than others, so this is a technique that really works for me. And I did do a previous video on this for visual learners, but if you're a person that likes to do it with other people or wants a visual representation, this video is for you. So I did receive a question, and the question was, how do I connect to myself? So that's a pretty broad question, but basically what they're asking is, how do I center myself, or what do I really want? Usually when you want to connect to yourself, you're not grounded and you're too much in your head space. So this really helps come back into your body, and that way you'll be able to make more sound decisions, be more calmer, and calm the nervous system as well. So I like to use the nervous system as your emotional body. So if you're a highly sensitive person, this technique or this practice will be very beneficial for you. So what I usually do is I sit in my favorite place, and for some people it's nature, other people it's being indoors in a dark place, other people it's their bed. But I find nature extremely calming and very healing, and I find connection in nature. So I rub my hands together for at least 20 seconds and making sure that they are warm and that I can feel the heat between them. Another fun fact is your hands have a lot of nerve endings in them, or this is why you can feel like a little slight paper cut will really hurt on your fingers because they have a lot of nerve endings. So I like to think that your hands receive information, and we're constantly receiving information all the time, but your hands I find are extremely healing, and they do a lot of favors for you. So if you place them on your heart, it's like giving information to your heart. So most people think that your heart is off-centered, but it is actually more in the center of your chest. So I like to place my hands on top of my chest or my heart, and I like to take a moment to see how fast it's beating, how hard it's beating, how my breathing is, really check into my body. And I also like to check in to see if I'm breathing through my stomach. Normally, about 90% of people breathe through their chest, and so it causes a lot of stress and not enough oxygen within the body. So I like to breathe and make a conscious effort to breathe through my stomach. I usually like to start out with about 5 breaths. And I usually breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. I've had a lot of caffeine within the past month, so my heart is beating quite quickly. During these breaths, I like to think of a favorite color or an experience that made me feel really calm, or a loving gesture, or having pink or the color lavender being poured into my body as I'm taking deep breaths. Now you can use any other visual you would like. Sometimes I like to use calming smells as well. And I would like to think that this practice is you consciously pouring love or peace within your body and your nervous system. So I usually do this as many times as I feel like my heart rate kind of stops beating fast. And sometimes it takes a really long time, especially if you're someone that gets really nervous. So do this as many times as you feel like you're kind of relaxing. And I like to imagine I'm actually relaxing into my heart, or centering myself into my heart. This is a very enclosing feeling, and it makes me feel a little bit more nurtured, especially if I've been around a lot of people all day. And I would like you to imagine that you have many layers to you, many physical layers. So you have your skin, which is the largest organ in your body. You also have your muscles, tissues, rib cage, your organs. So I would like you to imagine that you have an inner being behind all of those layers. And a lot of people are not aware of their inner being. Basically, an inner being is your truer self, or what he or she holds your happiness, memories, has your highest good at heart, intuition, things that are more unseen, and they are very sacred, and no one can touch them or taint them. This being is yours. So I like to imagine going back to that space if I'm feeling overwhelmed. And this is a space where you can center yourself. If you are in need of guidance, or in need of listening to your intuition, your inner being will gladly help you do that. And this is the best way to kind of center yourself and get in touch with your inner being. After I have done this, I usually place my hands with my palms up, and your fingertips or your hands are receivers, or they receive information and they do a lot of things for you. So I like to think that everything that you come in contact with, such as people, experiences, or animals, they kind of hold like a memory. So I'd like to think that your body is always giving and receiving information. So at times if your nerve system is super, really like overwhelmed, sometimes it's really hard to come back to yourself, since you're always picking up on all of these quote unquote memories or signatures that people are kind of carrying around, if you're a person that gets overwhelmed with people a lot. So, which is actually really interesting, because if you think about it, generations have made the same people that you get to grow up with or experience with. So I like to think that, or I try to keep in mind that people are kind of like very complex, and animals and plants are really complex as well. So I view them kind of more as like an intricate like being, since it took a really long time to be able to create the same people that we are around, and generations after generations and of people that you get to experience with. So it kind of makes things a little bit more interconnected when you think of it like that. So getting in touch with your inner being is really helpful. I also like to point out that the color pink and the color purple, like the lighter colors, are super calming to the brain, and they're super calming to the nervous system. The lighter the color, the more calming it is. And they also apparently, I haven't been to prison, but apparently they put pink in prisons because they want their inmates to be really calm, since prison is a super stressful place to be in. So they want their inmates to be super calm. Not only does pink calm the nervous system, it also evokes kind of a refreshing feeling, joy, kindness, connection, romance. Purple kind of leaves the body in a meditative state, and it brings out inner child, intuition, a kind of a relaxing feeling. So if you are able to either ingest those types of foods or be around those types of colors, it's very calming to the nervous system, and it feels really mothering to people. Just like any other color, if you're around it too much, it can have kind of a negative effect. So, and if you're a person that kind of has a hard time winding down, I would definitely invest in or imagine ingesting pink or purples. Your brain and your body always remember like the thoughts that you think, and the types of thoughts that you think or the types of feelings. So if you imagine ingesting a specific type of color or sensation or scent, it's really calming to the brain, and it's really calming to the nervous system. I like to think that when I'm doing my practice with centering myself, that I'm ingesting like lavender water or something that's really calming to the body, and it's really soothing, and it kind of gives off of a self-healing modality. So that's something that really works for me. Some people do really well with aromatherapy, where they're around a lot of different scents as well, which are either positive or negatively triggering to the nervous system. So that's a practice that I do, and I find it very, very grounding and very healing, and I usually feel really centered. Also, when you're placing your hands on your chest, make sure that you leave a slight pressure on your chest, because physical touch is one of the main, very, 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 very important need for a human being. So if you're a person that isn't around a lot of people or don't feel comfortable being touched by other people, this is very helpful with people that don't have that ability. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and of course I'll leave more information in the description box below. But I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.